So here we are, what seems to be little Friday range tests that are happening out in the car again. I'm 14.9 Ks from a solar node. The solar node on the house has got its stock standard antenna that's seed sent. This thing has got the stock standard little whip. Now, if I had a VNA, I bet it would show me that that is not very clever at this frequency. So no high gain antennas on either thing. I'm 14.9 Ks away and it's still working. Behind glass as well, just sat in the car as I am. So I'm very impressed. For the between, I don't know, they're between $50 and $60 depending on where you buy these things from. I don't think you're going to build yourself something something that works as well. Yeah, you probably can build something that works as well, but for the hassle, depends. If you've got time on your hands, then make your own. If you haven't, just buy one of these. Okay, my house is now about 20 Ks away. It's behind that pylon there. It's about 20 Ks away, and this is the suboptimal position of the C Studio. I promised I'd get the name right, didn't I? L1 Pro, whatever it is. Back at home. So this has got the standard antenna, stock antenna. Back at home, stock antenna on the solar repeater that's just on the roof of my garage. No great, just chucked it on the roof. And there's 20 kilometers stock antennas. Obviously, you're not going to fill in all the crinkly bits in the land, and that's a different story. And quite honestly, I'm happy with 20 kilometers in range. 15 kilometers in range, I'm happy with. But you'd fill in the crinkly bits. It's not range, not furthest range that you'd be after. It would be most reliable comms into crinkly bits like this. And this is where the skill and trick would lie, is colouring in the valleys, not joining point to point. Lovely ride out, but better go home and add to this. I don't know if I said it, but every time you hear that beep, that's the node talking back to the solar node in the range test mode.
Time, I suppose, for a story so far then. So the several videos we've seen now. The first one, remember, out the super lucky bit of road. Here's the HeyWhatsThat view shed. Second one out here, I was amazed to hear it over there, and obviously outside of the view shed as expected, so better than or equal to. And then I went out in the car. When I was out in the car on Friday, that's where I was. I heard it there, just inside the view shed. So that's 15 kilometers, still pretty impressive. And today I went all the way up here to 20 kilometers away, went around this little hill, which you can't really see, but when you're coming up here, you're going around a hill. That's the very peak there. And I came around the corner and bing bing, it started working. So that's amazing. Now I'm quite happy with a 15 kilometer range of stock antennas. And that looks like, what does that look like? That looks like this and this. That's 15 Ks, and then we'll add in that's what 20 Ks look like. So, but you can see, as I mentioned, in that overlooking Moy spot, that spot this morning, there's a lot of filling in to be done if you wanted full and reliable coverage in there. So range in itself, whilst cool, it's not necessarily the best thing. Now I haven't put in a view shed to see what it would look like there, but actually what my next view shed might look like, and because I bought another node, a cheap one, as cheap as I could find on AliExpress. It was 850 rand. I'm already regretting it, but the Seed Studio one that I have is twice the price. So we'll compare and contrast. Actually, it's more than twice the price. So we'll compare and contrast, and we see how we go with it. And to decide whether to find another one. Now, I'll put that into my mate Pete's house, which is over a hill. There is, well, he's on top of the ridge there, but anything down here is over the hill. So if I go like this, you see that wouldn't have been on mine. Impossible for me to reach down into there. Put it on my mate Pete's house, and hopefully we can move into that area, and then super hopefully we can get down to Hilton, which is down here. That's Hilton there. And that if somebody, it's going to be someone up, it's too far away for me to try and service a node all the time. But if there were a couple of people there, then that would be a very, very handy to be able to reach that there. I think if I was to put another node in, it would be my friend up here, and that would start filling this in. But I think you can see where I'm going with this. So you've got to have a little bit of infrastructure, a rough idea of range. But if we were to put an airborne asset anywhere in here, I think it would start lighting up lots of other things. So you can see where I'm going with this project. More to be done. Wait for this one to come when Pete's here, and then we'll work on an airframe and exactly the payload package to do the repeating, to make stuff useful. Where we're going at, or where we want to be able to get at to, is up into here, into the high mountains. Obviously we'd be having nodes further up into the mountain. That one's screaming out, isn't it? But that's not where a farm is. Oh, I know what that is. It's not where Posset Farm is. That's the Camberg, and the Camberg I can see from just up the road. This ridge line here is 2 meters wide. If you ferret around in my videos, you'll find one where I managed to land up here inadvertently. But the high mountains over there, that's where search and rescue is needed. That's where you put a mobile asset up to reach into it, and then, because this is a mesh network, as people are walking, if people are walking with the trackers or whatever device, then they're expanding the mesh as they go. But more about that in a further videos, perhaps, maybe. But that's where we're going. I think you'd already guessed that. Have a lovely start to the following week, and see you at 2100 gin and tonic for our normal chat of nonsense. Cheers, everyone.